Hey guys, welcome back. It's another video for you, and what you're looking at is the chassis to the K7000 monitor that's in my 6-in-1 multi-slayer cabinet. And I just recapped this monitor just recently, and I just want to talk about a few things that I did here. First, I want to say a huge thanks to Arcade Buffet, and I'll give you a link to his YouTube channel because he does a lot of arcade repair. He actually fixes arcade monitors for people, but he was helpful with me getting the problems fixed on this monitor when I went to recap it. You can always have problems when you're doing these things, but so I did a cap kit on this thing, and you can see each one of these caps. I do the standard thing I do. I color in the tops of the caps black, so I know that I've replaced those caps. Makes it a lot easier when you're doing it. And before I move on to the rest, I'm just going to talk about this real quickly. You'll see that I have this wire here disconnected, and that is the vertical sync pin for this monitor. And I pulled the vertical sync pin out. See, all these games I have in here are composite sync, and when I got this, it was wired up like this. You have a jumper going from the horizontal sync pin to the vertical sync pin, and they're both connected to composite sync. And there's this chart that my friend Iconoclast518 actually posted on the arcade forums, and in the side there's a little note saying, it says, "Got the bends? Read this. Do not hook up your composite sync to both horizontal and vertical on the chassis. Use horizontal only. Leave vertical empty." So I pulled that out, and because I did notice on my monitor at the top I was having a little bit of a bend, and this took it away. It's gone. So that's a good thing to note. If you have that issue, just pull this pin out. I just use my pin puller and pull it out. It's just hang in there. I'm going to put a little electrical tape around that before I'm done with that. Okay, so getting back to this, so I did all the caps on this, and it also came with, this is a full kit I got from Bob Roberts. So this is a flyback kit. I'm trying to stay on the tripod as much as possible because I know you guys say I'm real wobbly. I got the shakes. What do you call it there? So here's the flyback, and right here. This is a brand new flyback in here, and if you look back here, actually, just because it's kind of interesting, I've got my this is the TV adjustment tool that I have in here. This is for adjusting the horizontal width coil that's right back here. You can't, even though it's got a hex head on it, you can't use a metal tool in there because the magnetic field will heat it up really hot. It's not a good idea. So there's a special plastic tool you use for doing that. So I just want to show you that. So yeah, so there's that. Now, when I did this, there's an issue that I had, and I've had this happen before, but never with a bad result because I always caught it beforehand, is when you're taking the caps, you're putting the caps into the chassis, you have to clip the leads off, the remainder leads that are on there. And as I clip them off, they go all over the place, and I try to get them all into the trash. But inevitably, some end up on the workbench, some end up on the floor. And the problem is that there is a particular issue that happens. I'm going to move my light here so you can see better. Okay, so right behind, and I got to take this off the tripod, unfortunately, guys. Get ready for the shakes. Okay, so can I get this in here? Okay, you see there's that white thing is the horizontal width coil, and the black thing to the upper right of that is the linearity coil, I think it's called. Linear raster coil, whatever. And that actually has a magnetic core in it. And when you're working on these things, and you got those leads on the workbench, those leads are magnetic, are ferrous, or they'll respond to magnetic field. And it will pick them up, and they'll stick to the bottom of the board, the chassis here. And I always check it before I put it in. Matter of fact, so I did the cap kit. I put this in. I turned the monitor on. I was having problems with it. And so I pulled the chassis back out, and I found that this wire here from the flyback it had broken off where I had soldered it, because I did not cut a new piece. I did not strip a new piece. I just used the part that was exposed, and it was weak. So I did that, but in the process of taking the chassis out, I think I did 2 or 3 times. The last time I picked up a stray leg, and it got stuck to the bottom of the board, and I was adjusting it, everything's fine. And all of a sudden, and it blows a fuse. I take it out, I put a new fuse in it, I found the lead, put it back in, it didn't work. So I started doing some testing there. There's a bunch of polyester caps that are underneath this heat sink right here. And on the other side of this is the hot, or the horizontal output transistor, and that's for controlling the the horizontal output. I believe it changes the waveform coming out of the flyback. I'm not 100% positive on exactly how it works, but anyways, so it's right here. You'll see it right there. Right there. That's the horizontal output transistor, and it's screwed to that heat sink. And after doing some testing, and this is where Arcade Buffet was really helpful. He told me how to test a bad horizontal output transistor, which I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. So let's just go over here to my workbench. Okay. Nice. I can make this way higher. There we go. Okay. Okay, so here, this is the new horizontal output transistor. So the cap kit came, or the repair kit came with a new flyback, horizontal output transistor, fuses, and caps. And so I put the new horizontal output transistor in, and this is actually what went bad. I'll just show you. I've got my multimeter here, without moving the camera around too much, and you'll see right here it's set for the diode mode. Okay. Get this, man, I'm being really bad with this today. Okay, just want to get it so you can see it. That's the diode mode. You see it has a little symbol for a diode there, and it's got a little audio sound for tone. And what that means is when the two leads, flip this down again. The two leads make contact. You got the one here, you got the one here. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it makes a tone. So that tells you there's continuity between the two. And the two things he said you want to have is you don't want any continuity from the center pin with the red lead in the center. Red lead in the center. So there's none there. And then on this side, you don't want either. But you hear I got tone. That means this one's bad. And then you want to have like what's called a diode drop. It goes down to like about 500 ohms. But this one's bad. So I put the old one back in because there's nothing wrong with it. I had a new one. I figured I'd just put it in. So yeah, so I put that in and put it back together again, and it worked. So that's it on that. And just want to talk a little bit about the games now. Let's see. Let's go back over here to the tripod. I got way too much stuff down here. Okay, so you guys can see this. Okay, so get this back a little further. I'm trying to get it square for you guys to see it. Man, this camera's terrible for the distance. I gotta be so far away. Okay. So you see here, there's a little bit of pin cushion, but you see it's pretty much straight along the side. Before it had a little bit of a curve going like this at the top. And by disconnecting that the vertical sink, it took care of that. So we've got Gladiator running right there. And the other issue I had was adjusting the monitors because each game is a little bit different. And you can see here, I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but the Tighe logo, or in the red here, the signal's so strong with Rastan that it actually bleeds a little bit to the right. I get the bleed on blue and red right now for the most part. And let's see, but it's a lot better than it was before. It was like the clouds would bleed over, and down here at the power meter, you see the power meter? Yeah, this would bleed to the right before I capped the monitor. So it's a lot better than it was before. Overall, the picture looks a lot better. I still need to do some convergence up in the corners and stuff. And when I feel like doing the convergence, I'll do it. That's not something we want to do now. I've got so many other projects going on. This is good enough right now. Because it takes a while, and it's a tedious task. I actually don't mind doing it, but I don't want to do it right now. So let's just switch down the game here. The other thing is the size of the image. Rastan and Kadash and Ghouls and Ghosts all fill the screen completely. As you can see, it's filling the screen. Now if I switch to Black Tiger, You'll see it on the start screen more so. You see it doesn't fill the whole screen. Got a little bit of padding. But it's not too bad. You see here, Ghouls and Ghosts will fill the whole screen. Well, actually have a little bit on the top, a little letterboxing going on there, because Rastan's taller. But I think I've got it adjusted enough so that it's decent with pretty much every game now. So you got the same thing here with Ghosts and Goblins. It's a little bit boxed in, and the same thing with Gladiator. But yeah, so I've got this where I want it now. The only thing else to do is some artwork on it, and a few other things. Nothing really big. But I just want to say huge thanks to Arcade Buffet.